We're at these days of tremendous crisis in our world, and I know it feels apocalyptic, like the world is going to end. But I want to assure you of a couple things. First, we aren't the first generation that has ever felt this way. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that people during the Civil War felt the same thing. You know, both North and South, both white and black. We felt this same tremor in our inner beings. And then I think, about World War I, the first great war. And again, I'm sure the atmosphere felt like this was coming to a close, that everything would come to an end, and that generation would be the end of all time. But they survived. And then you think about the Great Depression and the crash in 1929, and you think about how people were jumping out of windows because they felt everything was lost. And it wasn't just an economic depression, it was a soul-shaking time. And yet we survived. And then after that, World War II, which seemed incredibly apocalyptic, with two world leaders of great evil intent in Stalin and Hitler, and yet once again the world survived. I just want to remind you of a couple of things. I was reading Psalm 93 today, and I want to read these words to you. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty. The Lord is robed in majesty and armed with strength. Indeed, the world is established, firm and secure. Your throne was established long ago. You are from all eternity. Listen, when I think about this passage, it reminds me of a couple of things. First, none of this surprised God. He's not up in heaven right now, wringing his hands, going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with COVID-19? I never thought this would happen. He's not. He's not looking at the economic crisis that is coming out of this. I saw 10 million people who have filed for unemployment in the U.S. It's the largest unemployment figures we've ever had in our history. But I got to tell you, God is not surprised. And the second thing I noticed, not just that he's not surprised, but that he is armed with strength. He is robed in majesty. His eternal kingdom is firm, secure, and unshakable. Listen, I gotta tell you, God will have the final word. He is not outmatched. He is not outstrengthed. He is not undone. He is not finished yet. There is hope. He can redeem this. He will have the last word. And that you can take to the eternal bank of God, because it's guaranteed.